Welcome back to the Playdate. I am your host, Susan Petersen.
Hi, friends. I'm your host, Mariah, Hosea.
Mariah, how you doing? I haven't seen you for a while.
It is good to be back.
You guys have been quarantined. You've been in a
Yes.
sick household.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So
All my kids were sick. I was sick, but my husband saved the day and he took care of us. It was great.
So today we are talking about feeding new babies. And did you breastfeed all your babies?
I did not. So I breastfed 4 out of the 5.
Okay. Do you want to talk about your breastfeeding journey, your
Yeah.
feeding journey?
Yeah. So for my son, my firstborn, it was actually something I never thought about. And I feel like that's probably typical for most new moms when you're pregnant.
Like
well, for me anyways.
You didn't think about feeding?
I didn't really think about breastfeeding because I had never experienced that.
Okay.
I didn't have older sisters or I don't know. I just wasn't around it. So it wasn't in the forefront of my brain.
Yeah.
I was just in college and working. So it wasn't something I thought about. So it was difficult for me when he was first born. He didn't latch right away. And then when I went home to pump, I only got 2 ounces. I did not have very high supply at all. So that was difficult. And then, just getting bombarded with breast is best. You got to keep going. You got to keep trying. And for me, my mental health, I just felt like I was failing. I can't even feed my own baby. So from there, I just had to formula feed and it was great. He got chunky. And sometimes you just have to push through it, and formula is what's going to happen. Then you got to go with what you got.
Because fed is best.
Yes. Yeah.
Fed is best.
I believe that. Mm-hmm.
And then your second baby.
Yeah. So my girls, the next 2 girls were both breastfed. They latched right away.
Mm-hmm.
Total different experience. I don't even know what it was. They just knew what to do. I didn't know what to do, but they just latched on like nothing. They're the same now. They're so independent. So yeah, it was very easy. I stopped around 6 months because I went back to work. I worked in an office at that time. And then in 2020, we worked from home. So then my third baby got to have me all the time, round the clock. She comfort fed every hour. So it was different for each child. And then my fourth, I pumped. She didn't latch at all. I think she just didn't get it, but I didn't want to give up. I didn't want to have the same experience I had with my son. So I ended up just pumping for months on end. Yeah, that was difficult, but we navigated through it.
What pump did you use?
Honestly, just the hospital one they give you. I think it's Spectra or something.
Yeah.
Got the job done.
Did you ever hand pump?
No.
I love a hand pump.
No.
You just get it done.
I did use the Haka thing. Have you heard of that? It's
no.
So I don't even know but it just kind of gets your let down.
Oh, yeah. The little cup that you wear under your bra.
It's like a little cup. Yeah.
Got it.
I love that. Best invention ever.
Yes. No, very smart. Because then you can get a little bit here and there.
Yeah. And then my last nugget right now, he's been the one that I've just exclusively breastfed and he's doing great.
Okay. So when did you start introducing solid foods?
So I feel like I didn't have a lot of knowledge, like I mentioned before, with my first. So I started him around 5 months. But I know pediatricians want you to wait till 6.
Okay.
So I kind of introduced him early. And then my other kids was around 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like when I had babies, I'm not that old. I swear it was 4.5, 5 months.
Yeah.
I feel like the information is always changing.
I saw other moms feeding their kids. I'm like, oh, am I supposed to be feeding him? And then I would go to the pediatrician. They're like, okay, when he turns 6 months, he can introduce solids. I'm like, oh, shoot.
You already been doing
He's already eaten sweet potatoes. Okay.
I wonder if is it for their stomach lining to develop? I wonder what it is.
Maybe.
Or so they don't get allergies or something. Interesting. So with all your kids about 6 months, you start introducing solids.
Yes.
Do you make your own baby food?
I wish I was that mom. I wish I was that crunchy mom that could just whip it out. But no.
I mean, when would you have the time? You have 5 children.
Yes, facts, and 2 jobs. So I'm just
it's
I'm
not
just going to work with the pouches.
Yeah.
They're just as good. They're organic pouches.
Everyone can hold it. Squeezing. Yes. Yes. It's fine. With my son, oh my gosh, he would eat so much food. I can remember at 10 months, he'd have 3 or 4 eggs for breakfast.
My goodness.
He was so fat. He was just in the best way,
Yes.
It's chunky.
Chubby.
Yeah. But it was just shocking to me how much that boy was eating. And then my daughter was just a little bird. And I don't think it had anything to do with gender. I think just every kid is different.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. My third girl, she could eat like a man. She eats so much still. So yeah, every kid is different.
I love it. Okay, so what's your feeding routine right now with your with your young boy?
So I'm still working from home. So he is kind of just fed on demand. Whenever he's hungry, he's going to eat. So probably eating like every 3 hours.
Okay.
And then at night too, he wakes up every 3 hours still. So yeah, we're still feeding
Mariah,
in the early hours. Yes.
Okay.
He
Do you
is the
love
biggest
it?
mama's boy too. Like he will not take a bottle.
Okay. Do you
Yeah.
love it, or are you kind of ready to be done with it?
I am ready to wean, like maybe when he turns 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just so attached too because this is the longest I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like feel like a pull towards, I just got to keep going because there's some moms that do it till like 24 months.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I could be that mom, but
Do
I'll
you
keep
like
going as long as I
breastfeeding?
can. I do. I do love it. Definitely in the beginning, like with my firstborn, it's difficult to grasp. Like I feel like we have this stigma where women, and it's physiologically our job to feed our children. And I didn't have that. It wasn't a light bulb. Like it didn't just happen for me. I had to like work at it. When it didn't happen for me, I was so down. I was like, what's wrong with me that I can't feed my own kid? So when I saw other moms doing it, or when I went to lactation class the next day in the hospital, I was just like, why is everyone figuring it out and I can't figure it out? But I finally figured it out. Thank the Lord, 5 kids later. So I think it's just depends on the child as well, and if they're going to latch well, and just their temperament and everything.
It kind of sounds like you were a little disappointed.
Oh, yes.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but how
Yes.
did you deal with the disappointment?
That is a good question. I feel like comparison is a thief of joy. So I think just understanding that while I can't feed my child with what I thought I could, just understanding that I'm feeding him in another way and it's just as good. Even though she was able to breastfeed, I don't think I should look down on myself because I can't. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have postpartum depression?
Yeah. Yes.
With all of them?
No, with my second.
Okay.
Yeah. And then from there, it just kind of skipped. And then again, I had it with my 4th. And then it's starting to appear again with my 5th. So
at 9 months?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So like there's no timeline for it. It just kind of happens when it comes. Yeah.
Yeah. And how are you dealing with it?
So I take sertraline for it, for the help. And then I've also talked with therapists over the phone, that kind of thing. But that's been really helpful.
I'm a sertraline girly myself.
Yes. Yes. We love a sertraline queen.
Yes. In fact, like if people are crying around me, I'm like, I can't, my Zoloft won't let me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a friend that sent me a TikTok a few weeks ago. Have you heard of why flamingos lose their pink color?
Yes, but please tell me.
So when she sent me the video, I was getting so emotional.
But tell why. Yeah.
Yeah. So when she sent the video, it's basically the premises. So flamingos are different colors. So there's the vibrant magenta flamingos that are so beautiful. And then there's some that are just pale pink, almost white. The video was just explaining that it's kind of similar to mothers. So these flamingos, when they're taking care of their young, when they're feeding their children, it's depleting them completely. It's completely draining them. So they lose their color. And so they eventually get their pink back. And that's just kind of what I thought with postpartum depression. Like you're so drained. Sometimes it's just so taxing on you and you lose your pink. So I feel like in some seasons of my motherhood journey, I've lost my pink. And even in breastfeeding, like with my first experience, I was probably the most pale pink I've ever been because I just felt so down. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not a good mom. I can't even figure this out. How am I even going to continue to do other things that I'm supposed to do? But just figuring out that it's seasonal, it's not finite. I don't know, just getting my pink back, that's something that I look forward to.
Yeah.
Even with a young 10-month-old and a 6-year-old, like the seasons come and go and I'm going to get my pink back.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, you're a flamingo. You'll get it back.
Yeah.
So I love that imagery because I can remember after my daughter even feeling like you just are in the trenches so long and you're like caring for another person so long. And it's like a joy and an honor. Like wouldn't give it up for the world.
Of course, yeah.
But you start to feel like, wait, who am I? And you kind of start to not recognize yourself. And then there's like these little bursts of moments where I'm like, oh, wait, there I am. Oh, wait, there I am. There I am. And so I'm just so interested. I'm so curious. So don't get mad at me. Don't hate me, Kay. But you had so many so many kids back to back. Do you feel like you've had bursts? Do you feel like you've been able to like find your pink
Oh, for sure.
after each one?
I for sure think so, just because the kids will even give you your pink back in certain aspects. Like when they do certain things, when they learn things, when they're going to preschool, school. I have a kindergartner right now. Like the joy I feel when he tells me something new he's learned, like that brings me my pink back. Or even just self-care things like going to the gym or listening to music.
Driving here.
Yeah.
Getting your little like alone time in a car. I love a commute. People are like, you live so far from where you work. And I'm like, no, listen, I love a commute. I love to just like reset, feel like myself, show up who I am. Yeah. When you're breastfeeding, do you feel like more like yourself or when you stop breastfeeding? Or is it kind of a mix?
I feel like when I wasn't able to breastfeed, that was when I didn't feel like I was the best mother. Like I felt like a failure. But then I came to realize like breastfeeding isn't my identity. It doesn't make me the best mom ever.
One way to feed your child.
Yeah.
You know what? I felt that way after I had a C-section the first time. Yeah. Because I feel like so many people are like, oh, well, you can try again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have natural or you have to have vaginal or you have to have all these things. But it's honestly just what you...
I actually had a midwife tell me I could have gotten your baby out. And I'm like, listen.
Oh, gosh.
First of all, don't ever talk to me again. Second of all, don't take away my pink.
Yes. Yes.
No, okay.
And I also love that imagery because everyone's just trying to do their best. If we could see like every mom and if there are different colors of pink, I think we'd have so much more grace and we would judge less. So yeah, maybe I didn't breastfeed my first son and maybe there's people that judge me for it, but it's none of their business.
Maybe if you're listening, you feel you can't breastfeed. Yeah. And like, I think if I'm wanting anyone to walk away with anything, it's like, hey, it's fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like it is what it is, even if you feel like you're not.
Yeah, because you're everything to your baby. So
yes. Yes.
That's what I learned from everything from my experience with not being able to breastfeed with my firstborn and then just coming to be able to do it or just feeding with bottles. Like it's still a treasure. It's still something I'm going to look back on and be grateful for and thank my body that I could even have 5 kids.
And maybe more.
Yeah, maybe.
I love like, I'm always going to bring that up, Mariah. When you get pregnant, if you get pregnant again, you're announcing on the Playdate. How about that?
I know, right?
You'll be like, I have an exciting announcement. You and I will take a picture of the sonogram together.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yeah.
Manifesting.
What if you have twins on your...
Oh, Susan, no, that would kill me.
But you have so many helpers.
Oh, that's very true.
Yeah, your girls would know what to do.
My
They're
son loves
independent.
to help. My oldest is the best helper.
Yeah. So see?
Yeah.
Your husband doesn't get sick. Everyone will be fine.
Yes. And husbands too. They help you get your pink back too.
How?
They get a bad rep, but honestly, my husband, like I just meant, well, I was talking to you earlier about being sick and my husband was massaging my feet. He was going on soup runs. But I think utilize your husband or your partner as much as you can because when you're in the trenches, they're the ones that are going to help you and support you through it.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Okay. Well, Mariah, thank you.
Thank you. Good to chat.